Remix, remix.
Remix.
Oh, we're still doing it. Are we live yet?
We're live on everything except Twitter, but yeah, Twitter's being a fool right now, so you can start.
You know, rest in peace, Uncle Twitter. You know, couldn't hang, so we had to leave him. But to everyone else on the internet and abroad and here in our lovely Zoom room and in my home, welcome to the Berkeley Poetry Slam Quarantine Edition. Hey, bam, 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 fireworks, fireworks, gunshots, 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 gang, 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 gang. I am your host, Reggie, and I will be here to guide you on this poetic journey of artistic beauty and excellence. But before we begin, we got some ground rules. First, for y'all sitting at home, yeah, y'all got rules. I know I'm in your house, but I'm gonna make the rules because you in mine too. Yeah, first, I need y'all to like, share, and subscribe on whatever platform you are on, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, could have been Twitter, but she was playing. Like, just, you don't want to miss us because we don't just do this once and then disappear for the rest of your life. We do this every Wednesday, bringing poetry.
Live on Twitter now too.
Oh, we're live on Twitter. Hey, look who decided to get some act right. Come on now. You heard me talking shit and decided to get it together. Yay. But yeah, you want to keep up with us. We are bringing poetry to your living room once a week, every week. You should be a part of that. And then on top of that, I need you to comment in the feed. Let these poets know how much you love them and their work. It is mad fucking dry to be here on Zoom and like not know what people say or what people think or how people are reacting. So your comments, your love, your energy is definitely needed. I go back and read the comments after the show. And it makes me feel all warm and bubbly inside. It's like an emotional shot of gin to see the way that y'all show love for these poets. So please continue to do that. Cool. Next, speaking of poets, we got rules for y'all too. Yeah, y'all can't be up in here wilding just because you in the Zoom room and everybody else is on a live stream. Y'all got rules too. First, no props, no costumes, no musical accompaniment, no nudity. I don't want this stream taken down and I don't want this Zoom account locked. So please, no nudity. But most importantly is our time limit. You got 3 minutes and a grace period of 10 seconds to spit your piece, your own original work. After 3 minutes with that grace period of 10 seconds, you will be deducted points for our scorekeeper of the night, Prophet. After 4 minutes, we normally have a DJ when we are up in person. They'll like politely play you off stage and it'll be all subtle and polite and loving and, you know, not a little passive aggressive, but not aggressive aggressive. So you fight somebody just like, you know, it's not time to leave. But we can't do that here. There's no music, there's no DJ, there's just the mute button. And I hate that thing. And it's gonna be really awkward if like you're muted and then I come up here and I'm not prepared because you got muted. And I thought there was more poem left. It's just gonna be bad. I'm already awkward. Yeah, and we want to hear your whole work. So, you know, if it's between that 4 minute piece and that 2.5 minute piece, probably choose the 2.5 minute piece. And speaking of points and judging and scores, Judges, y'all have a job. Y'all have rules. Y'all have the hardest job of the night, really, because you have to judge this poetry openly. You have a 0.0 to 10.0 scale, 0.0 being the worst thing you ever heard in your life. It's like whatever is going to pop up on the news tomorrow, because let's be honest, it's not looking bright. Whatever is going to pop up on the news tomorrow, that is a 0. Anything short of reparations and like liberation for all people, if it's anything short of that, it's probably a 0. No. But a 10 is like the best thing you've ever heard in your life. It's like whatever made 90s fashion really fucking popping. Whatever made 90s fashion popping is a 10. Point being, there's not a lot of 0s, there's not a lot of 10s score accordingly. There's this thing called score creep, whereas the course of the night, we all get a little more comfortable, you know, maybe a little drizz, maybe a little schmizz. The poetry starts sounding better and better and better, but that's not fair for the people who went up when you were sober. So to mitigate that, we are going to have a sacrificial poet, someone who's not competing, but you're going to score them like they are. Any poems you like more, score them higher. Any poems you don't like as much, score them a little lower. You are going to make sure you send your scores to the Hip Hop Prophet, and he will make sure that those get into our score sheet accordingly. Lit. And word of the day. I'm so glad I didn't forget. Word of the day. It is a time-honored tradition. It is beloved. It is so unnecessary and yet so fun. It is word of the day is a time-honored tradition. We pick a random word off the internet from the Merriam-Webster's word of the day, and we force poets to jam it into their poem for an extra point. Today's word of the day is cronyism, which is partiality to cronies, especially as evidenced in the appointment of political hangers-on to office without regard to their qualifications. That sounds like a subtweet, but what do I know about politics? But poets, if you use any form of the word cronyism, cronyisms, cronyismoscopy, I don't know, you get an extra point. Judges, you don't have to worry about that. The scorekeeper will handle all the extra points. Lit. So we are going to have a special treat, a little mix up from our usual format. Normally we have our first round and then our feature and then our second round, but our feature is in a different time zone and it is late. I don't know how late because I am terrible at time zones, but I know that it is 8:45 over here, which is late. We are going to have our feature, Ebony Stewart, come up first, and then we'll have our first and second rounds of the slam. I'm super excited for our feature tonight. I am really fucking excited. Our feature is Ebony Stewart. Ebony, do you want me to read your official bio or do you want me to say something special about you?
I just want you, yeah, don't do that. Don't read, nobody cares about all of that at all.
I care. Okay, like real talk, I love Ebony Stewart to death. Ebony Stewart was one of the first poets that I was ever introduced, whose work I was ever introduced to as a like young baby poet. I remember when I first started like slamming on the adult scene, I would like, there were a handful of poets who had button videos, and I would watch all of their button videos, like, and just like pick it apart and figure out what they are doing to be so dope. Like Ebony Stewart is one of my favorite poets to just study and be like, wow, you really did that. You really did that. But not just her writing, her character. The way she fills a room and holds space for everyone, including herself, is both inspiring and necessary. I have never been in a space with Ebony where like I didn't feel necessary. So I just want to say, like, Ebony is so amazing. I'm trying to get my job to buy her damn curriculum so we can get these babies involved. Yes. So like,
Yes.
I say Ebony Stewart is the way, the truth, and the light. No man is coming up to the Father but through her. I need everyone to give a wonderful, beautiful welcome to our feature of the night, Ebony Stewart.
Woo. Hey. Yeah, thank you so much, Reggie. Listen, y'all know I gotta keep these lashes on for just a little bit longer, sugar, just a little bit longer. You try to give me, well, they staying on that thing. Thank you so much for accommodating me. Yes, it is 10:48 here in Central Time, Houston, Texas, what to do. And I just really, I'm hungry, so I would like to just go, feed myself. But let me get into these poems. Yesterday with Oakland Poetry Slam, I shared poems that I don't normally get to do, but they're not new. And tonight I want to share with Berkeley Slam's audience poems that are rather new and fresh and funky. But I'll say this: if you don't like them, like, keep that to yourself. Yeah, I mean, options are so grilly. Yeah. So I'm gonna read them to you all. If you see my eyes darting back and forth, that's what's happening. But yeah, this first one is called Pray Tell Them. And mostly I just really like to play with the idea of sexuality, gender, and religion, or Christianity to be more specific. So if this offends anyone, talk to your God about it. In this version of our Lord, God comes back as a dark-skinned, fat Black woman who wear box braids, lace fronts, and melanin leave you shook. When I say she dark-skinned, I mean she can't pass and don't want to. I mean she walked into a room and everybody bowed instead of devoured that which is exotic. Because in this version, dark skin actually means power, means royal and beloved, means lead role, lead singer, and more than just a few. So all the other dark skinned girls get to see themselves first. And original people. Call God a God, I say it 3 times in the mirror and I get to worship myself. When I say she fat, I mean she grew outside of your comfort zone, a stereotype. Found a motherfucker to fan and feed her in the summer, and you gonna get whatever body she giving. I mean, if he die, then he die. And if he won't fuck her midday, then his ass gonna freeze in the winter. I mean, thinking is something she won't even consider. I mean, her mouth be bigger than her stomach, and she can do more with it than send your food back. She be a man a snack, because in this version, God is not confident just because you notice. In this version of the Holy Trinity, Jesus is transgender. Black woman and savior. I mean, who else's gospel can turn colloquial? I mean, who else can identify as she or they and still be othered? Because who else can be praised, imitated, excluded, or underrepresented? I mean, who gives a fuck about respect as long as gay white men get to gentrify it? She be beheaded, gunned down, and stoned. Everyone who wanted her dead called it a drop, but let's just say she spun around so hard, so dramatic, soft, and slow, she became the master of resurrecting on ballroom floors and moonlight waters. Because she can afford herself and still not free. I mean, sticks and stones could break her bones, but a brick can start a riot. And there goes Jesus again, always turning turmoil into a celebration, tested but still holding fast to what's good. In heaven is how high a queen sits. We glow our hands up, voguing Black queer culture into the Holy Spirit. How we see ourselves well. Because only Black folks can behold the Holy Spirit that speaks truth to power and live without dwelling ahead of their time. I mean, who else gonna shine? Be shedding, being, and keeping the light. God is everywhere, in and of everything. I mean, pray tell them. God is love, right? So you can go ahead and thank the Holy Spirit, that which is Black and gay, knowing and believing nothing moves without us. That's that thing right there. Cool, cool, cool. So y'all know, like, there's this thing called button poetry, right? Reggie actually just mentioned it. And what happened is that Button like asked me to come through, and they asked for like a lot of the poems to be on a newer scale. So I released this poem called White Men Say Weird Things to Me back in November. And if you ever just want to have like, I don't know where you fall on how you feel about white men, but if you ever just want to have yourself a laugh, or you feeling very argumentative, or you want to check somebody just to make sure your skills are still, you know what I'm saying, that fire, that knife, go check out the poem on YouTube. The comments, more so than anything, have been, a mixture of emotions. So I'm gonna read this. Like I said, I'm doing 3 poems. This is the second one. White men say weird things to me, or do creepy shit they think I should be flattered by. I've never dated a white man before. I like to think it's because I've never wanted to stimulate my genetic trauma, or wanted that kind of success to validate my accomplishments. I don't think my ancestors would consider their rape as race play and call it sexy. When I was in high school, I remember my bus driver pulling the bus to the side of the road near the woods. Some folks think the hood ain't got woods, but some hoods do. And I sat stiff, rabbit, and waiting. It is in the silence where white men become the ones in every movie I've seen, killers who still receive praises, Freddy Kruegers and Jasons. He moves in slow motion to the back of the bus. He wants me to know I'm seeing exactly what I think I'm seeing, and I want to see how fast I can run, but I can't move, so I try to disappear. Because how else are Black girls asked to use their magic? But it's my heartbeat that gives me away as he touches my hair, my shoulder, my thighs. He says, every day after school, you leave the same way you came. Pretty. Pretty. So pretty. And that's it. That's all he wanted me to know. He said it 3 times, so it must be true and traumatizing. Lets me off the bus, and I never skip track practice again in college. A white boy from across the hall is sitting in my room one night on my bed in the dark with his pants unzipped. Says he mistook my room for his. If I move, will they call it manslaughter or self-defense? In Boston, a white man told me I looked just like his mother, and I wondered if he meant his caregiver. Another in Houston snapped a close-up and showed me, see, now I own you forever. A white man in Wisconsin flicks his cigarette at me and promises to find out what hotel I'm staying in. One time in Seattle, I disappeared in a white man's blues. I can't remember if his name was William, Robert, Richard, Gary, Ted, or any other white man whose obsession with killing gets romanticized for taking someone's breath away, for collecting screams in jars, in basements, in attics. His voice was gentle and conning, like, I better be smart enough to keep my freedom. Like, I better know how to stay inside my own body. He asked if I want to go back to his place to eat some roasted pumpkin seeds. That's some weird shit to say, huh? Creepy, right?
Mad creepy.
Mad creepy, yo. White men taught me that being a predator is a compliment. That I should smile while walking or running or hiding. Shaniqua, Shantia, Anna, Harmony, Kania, AKA no one turns over the earth when a Black girl goes missing. That it's only a matter of time before no one finds me. Too. Okay, that's that one. All right, so how y'all feeling? Y'all okay? Like, talk to me. Unmute yourself. What's happening with your life?
Wow.
Okay.
I'm in awe.
Okay.
Black girls agree.
Hey, that's really all I need. That right there. Black girls agree. What else?
They're exploding on Instagram.
Oh, well, they might not be saying nice things. So let me not say all, because they might be saying mean things that I might need to find their address.
I don't know, that's on Twitter. The trolls are always on Twitter.
All I'm saying, Arvin, is that I can find their address. Anywho, I did that too hard, my bun almost came down, but I meant it. Anywho, so for my last trick, I've always wanted to say that. Really, that's goofy, Ebony, stop. But on some real shit, like this poem is like mad new, like really, really, really new. And yeah, that's just exactly how I feel about it. Like that look that I just gave, that's how I feel about it. But I think that it's really important, and I'm hoping that I've articulated myself well enough. If not, consider it an edit, and we gonna make it do what it do. So I pose a question to Black men. I ask, what do Black men hear when Black women say, protect us? What do Black men feel they have done to protect Black women? And for a long while, don't none of them say nothing. I grew up in a country where white people can literally get away with anything, where women work harder, got more degrees, and are valued less. Trust me, I know patience. A Black woman waiting is just another day ending, and why, but I'm trying to learn something. Of course, I know what it's like to bear the weight of my choices, to hope as a way to defy suffering for all that love and trouble brings, and defending what's mine or came from me. My nigga, I do it for you all the time. I interpret the silence as another example of interpersonal violence we experience. This is how we've come to know each other. Either I give you the answer, I can't tell the truth about Black men without exposing myself. A growing soft spot for a lover I'm loyal to. Trauma bonded and still know you'll claim to cherish, then kill something as fragile and resilient and beautiful as me. But who needs a heart when there's subjugation? Who listens to Black women without first having them do their own emotional labor? Everything I do be magic, but I can't conjure a response from a nigga that ain't having his own pissing contest, trying to impress me with excuses, and somehow that becomes my fault too. Let me be careful not to overgeneralize. I know some men think they doing it right, so they already offended. And some men who don't want to admit I'm talking about them be sensitive. Either way, I don't think it's my fault when I can't tell whether Black men's responses to Black women and our protection is performative. You know, Black men get to choose their conscience, get to say what they should do as a way to passively pacify and look past what they don't. Get to invite us to sit next to them, included and mistreated, but don't expect us to say much. Ball they fist up, get locked up, taken from us, leave us to protect ourselves. You can know the definition of a word and still use it wrong. You can use protection in a sentence, describe it brilliantly, but fail to make meaning of how you see me. You can't be pro-Black woman without being proactive in your actions. And I'm not saying I'm not aware of what this country has done to our Black men. I also haven't read a Bible or walked into too many rooms where a man's name or power wasn't mentioned or felt first and take up space. He who finds a woman finds a good thing, so we should be grateful for these chains. Don't get me wrong. I've loved many men who can't help but think like a slaveholder. It's in the ways we associated to each other. The hand cannot say to the eye, and the head cannot say to the feet, I don't need you. Every day I wake up, a Black girl gets her wings, and a man has the gall to ask if she was saved. Like she ain't had to cultivate safe spaces and act as her own savior. But go off, King. One man said he learned to value Black women once he saw his wife give birth. And I thought of all the Black women who can't have or don't want to or die during and still. Am I to understand that Black men only value what they can make use of? Or is this the part of the narrative where some Black men explain what they intended to mean from what they've said? Another man said he got a preference and she ain't Black, and then spouted something silly saying most Black girls don't even know how to swim or can't get their hair wet. And even after a nigga said something, I still held my mute, gave him grace. Let's just say that's true. It ain't never stopped me from trying to keep my head above water or keep a man from trying to drown me. You think I haven't learned? You think I haven't learned how to love Black men who watch from sidelines? Mute my screams when they got too loud, because goddamn Black girls be loud and angry. Here I am, only necessary when I'm not disposable. Still gotta beat that bitch and walk these dogs to heaven. Another person suggested I talk louder for the cis Black men in the back as if Black and gay or non-binary don't benefit from the image and mockery of Black women. You know how they say, she do you better, he do you better than you do, sis. Let us laugh at how strong and brave and tired and witty Black women are, but aren't allowed to be. Let us be amazed at how entitled people are to the energy and time Black women give. And in every way, I've had to endure without any assistance from you. I'm still here, rock and pillar. Through plight and in all my methods of survival, I still include Black men, but some Black men only protect the Black women they know or want something from. Let us pray you care for more than just your mama. May you learn how to treat Black girls that are not born from curses in every ear that couldn't hear me or haven't been paying attention. The question means, I need you. And then after I'm gone, know that I loved you anyway. That's my time, y'all. Thank you so much. My name is Ebony Stewart, AKA the Gully Princess, AKA I eat your cupcake. It's a pandemic.
God damn. And a sacrificial is supposed to do what after that? That's so real.
Let me just someone get the edges.
Kudos,
Okay.
sis. That was amazing.
Wow. Let me just like take a moment to collect myself.
Thank you, doll. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Ebony Stewart, everybody. That was our feature, Ebony Stewart. Everyone give like a massive round of applause, give maximum energy to our
Woo! No, it sounds weird on Zoom, but it's real.
What's Ebony's social media handle for the crowd?
Oh, how can people like follow you on social media? Like,
oh yes. So for those of you who are interested, and also thank you so much. I feel so anxious. Yes, if you are on Twitter, it's EB Poetry. EB Poetry, like Eb Poetry, you know what I'm saying? Because like my name is Ebony with a Y. And if you are on Instagram, it's Gully Princess, Gully Princess, ain't no Z's, ain't no underscores. If you still confused, you can just Google me, Ebony Stewart. Thank y'all so much.
thank you so much. Yeah, that was our feature. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm just like low-key, like not prepared to host a show anymore. I was prepared up into the feature and then lost all of my shit. Wow, thank you so much, Ebony. We got a slam. Yeah, so we do have people that are competing tonight. They will be competing in this order. We have Torian, Dog Days Are Over, Summertime, Damani, Lily Ain't Misbehaving, Nicole Tracy, and Anna Allen. Yes, so like, it's gonna be lit. But before we begin, of course, we have to have our sacrificial poet. Someone to get these judges ready for poetry. So everybody say like, spill the blood. Spill the blood.
Feel the blood.
Spill it.
Maximum love to your sacrificial poet. Prophet, right?
I thought it was you.
Prophet. I think it's Prophet. Yeah.
Woo! Come on, Prophet.
Yeah.
Prophet, can
What's
you
up,
start your
everybody? Can you hear me
video?
okay?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Alrighty. I was not prepared. I was still trying to get my edges back. That's why I got my hoodie on. That fucking feature, man. Why I gotta go after that? That ain't fair. The youth are getting more stoned than Medusa staring at her reflection. We about to spark an insurrection. No disrespects to presidents-elect. You selling us a message with a planet-sized recession with no medicine. So fuck you, brethren. Thanks to you, the corporations take aim at us. The world ends in a month, and ain't nobody can save us. I'm tired of all this hurting and anguish. Though what's worse is I'm thankful, though every breath is like a surge to the pancreas. I know people doing felonies to get through the week. Who can blame them? They suffered us the melodies deep. I was raised on the south side where the villain is king, and God is his holy power which delivers the sting. Yo, my youth was one of knowledge of the pleasures of street. Before I speak, give me a second to seek, because I refuse to be meek. Imagine you being pulled from a creek for you refusing the illusion of peace. Whenever the devil cries is never because several died. Freedom stings to an Egyptian embezzled in rebel skies. Let the treble rise. Basically, fellows with mellow eyes and yellow sides talk of peace, but preferred be weaponized. It's never pride that makes us brazen. Our leaders are on the binge. But clever minds but don't destruction to capture the souls of men. When the winter solstice opens, ghetto hopelessness is potent. Listen up. I'll supply you with the potion right before a drone hits. With the persistence of a predator loan, automatic precision snipers make sure you'll never see home. Like the debt that you put us in with smooth deception that's honed. Your election don't change the truth, dog. You neglected your own, so let the record be shown. If you target the facts, the government just waged the war. Freedom's the heart of attack. They've raped and poisoned the land till nature sanded the coast by hurricane. Unfazed, they left the masses engulfed, so we blazing in flames and dangerous. Thank you.
Woo! That was lit.
Right.
I was like, punchline,
Leave
hold
it
up.
up.
Let me simmer in the last punchline. Hold up.
Right. Yes. Send those scores, judges, to Prophet. Yeah, send those right in. Cool. So that was our sacrifice. We know. Judges, you have your calibration, you know what you like, you know what you want, you kind of experts now. Audience, I don't know about you, but like, I think that you should have a choice in what happens. So like, let people know what kind of scores you want to see in the comment section. Let people know. Just yeah. It's your show. It is your it is your choice. This is your America, your ballot, your vote, your election. Oh my God, judges, have you seen this country? There's no such thing as elections. There's no such thing as voting. The electoral college, fuck the world. Audience, we are hopeful, naive, young Democrats. We know for a fact that voting works and will change the world and change the future forever. And it's the only way to do things, make your voice heard. But yeah, y'all got this. Cool. So on deck, we have, let me check. On deck, we have Dog Days Are Over, but give maximum love.
No. He dropped. So
no.
Yeah.
So on deck, we have Summertime, but give maximum love to the first poet coming up in the slam. Give it up for Torian.
All right. Mic check. Y'all can hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
All right. I write too many poems about my father, but this is the one I want him to hear. Staying up too many nights, exercising my demons to be strong like my father, because I always thought when it came to walking away, he never skipped leg day. I wish his pull-up game was strong, but most days I wish his pull-out game was stronger. I mean, it's hard to be uplifting. You gave me all this weight and wonder why I feel bench pressed all the time. I know you never hated me, but tell me, which one was you more afraid of breaking, the condom or your son? Which pill was a harder truth for my mother to swallow, my existence or plan B? Trust me, this poem is a lot like my birth. The delivery is just different. Like, I want to believe I wasn't the mistake you made. I just want to believe I was the mistake you never corrected. I wanted to be like you. We almost got the same tattoos. You have a flaming metal basketball on your bicep. I have a sun on mine. You have a panther fighting a snake on your left arm. I have the dark mark on mine, a snake going through a skull. And I realize we feel needles differently. We feel pain differently. You got your ink because it symbolizes you. I got my ink to become you. You was hurting for that moment. I was hurting to have this moment. You marched symbols in high school. I ran my symbol section in high school, but see, no matter how much music we made, we always moved different. I marched, hoping my father was our next field formation, fighting back the music depression instrumented itself out of, but fighting to hear your sound is battle of the bands. Was this teaching me that being like you is a one-man band? That the ink on my body and the ink in my notebook write the same stories? I did all of this exercising to understand what it feels like if we don't work out. I'm not trying to come full circle to tell you how hard it is to stay in shape. You never taught me how to love women. Women taught me how to love them the same way their fathers loved them, in sections. I always understood that learning how to love her is like learning her father. So that's why it takes us longer to learn love than it takes us to understand absence. It would be wrong to place all the blame on you, to mold a trophy case out of you and tell you it's empty because I'm competing for your attention. It would be wrong to tell you I came out differently because you came in my mom the same way you left, in sections, heart out the door, just waiting on the body to come. I want to tell you I'm sorry. Just like cronyism, it's hard to use you in this poem. I'm sorry for taking all this weight we both should be carrying. I'm sorry. I searched for your love and found myself looking for a fuck to give. I admire the way my mother was shaped like a question mark and loved the answer before she saw it. You came back into our life, and I love how you make a complete sentence. Because for years I cried too many nights promising myself I can live like an exercise. Until my smile learned to push up. I don't want to regret this. Now I can write you in the beginning. See, I wrote too many poems about you, but this one is the only one I don't have to revise.
All right, keep that round of applause. Woo! For Torian. Judges, send your scores on over to Profit. Yeah, and the Sacrificial Poet got a 25.9. But like we say, it's not about the points, it's about the poetry. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet. Yes, before we continue, I'd like to give a shout out. I personally think that we have a dope ass team here at the Berkeley Slam. And we've been keeping shit running, but we are broke as individuals, as organizers, and that is where our lovely patrons have come in and really stepped up and have really helped us over the last 6 months, especially during quarantine, provide these free shows in which people can still earn cash prizes, where we can still pay our features and folks that are coming through and helping us run this and make this show amazing. So I'd like to give a shout out to all of our patrons, but especially to our patrons in particular, Renee Edmonds and Jessica Kozakic for sponsoring one of our weekly workshops. Emily Chow and Calla Lily for being regulars. And I'd like to give a special shout out to Alice Grimm and Sarah O'Connell for pledging $100 a month in support of one of our venues, the Allen Bluford Center for Justice. If you like what you are seeing, if you would like to support more poetry events in the Bay Area, such as the Berkeley Slam, the Oakland Slam, and the Alchemy Open Mic, you can visit patreon.com/richoakevents to donate monthly, or you can always donate to us via Cash App, Rich Oak Events, or Venmo, Rich Oak Slam. Also, you can Venmo Berkeley Slam, as well as paypal.me/Berkeley Slam. But yeah, any and all of your donations go right back into running the show, making sure that we are able to provide weekly content, bringing live poetry and art into your living room for you to enjoy. So thank you to all of our patrons and to all of our donors that have helped us survive this wacky, wild, unpredictable pandemic. We love you. We miss you. We'll see you all soon. That being said, we are gonna move on. So on deck, we got Damani, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up to the stage. Give it up for Summertime.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can I get a mic check, please?
We can hear you.
Perfect. This poem is called Bookbound. Mountains of books create walls to hide behind, a barrier to avoid connection. An erudite, a scholar, an unstoppable force of academia. The wall of noise on the other side is hardly muffled by the aging pages. Close your eyes. Smell the vanilla ketones of paper returning to dust. Soon, you will too. Pile them higher. Immerse yourself deeper into a sea of words. If you drown, you will never have to breathe in fear again. You will not see your heart and creative works torn asunder if you coat them thick with the veneer of false honor. Suffer the cronyism that comes from surrounding yourself with other book-bound minions. No one critiques the scholar the way they do an artist. That those who cannot do, teach, speaks to the hypocrisy academia hides behind. We respect you when you study, when you take exams, when you hide behind big words we can't understand. Yet we do not laud your progress. We condone your results. We praise you for how many letters you have carried after your name, but never the progress it took to get there. Walls coming higher, more books, more letters. Soon I will wear so many, I will forget the arrangement that makes my own name. They wash away my creative energies, leave me a blank canvas in the world that seeks to fill in the space for me, shoving labels and identities down my throat like a force-fed goose for supper. If we tell you who you are enough times, you will not have the will to fight anymore. I'm done fighting. I have mourned the opportunities for growth lost when I was too busy stacking books to see what lay before me. A light, a warmth, a world of color, beyond text, beyond words, beyond numbers. It is there that I will find my story. Thank you.
Give it up for Summertime. Yes, judges.
All right.
Be sure to send those scores to Young Prophet, or maybe not so Young Prophet, but let me not throw shade. Love you, nigga. And for reference, Torian got a 27.0. Once again, fuck the scores. It's about the poetry and the artistry. And quite frankly, this is an amazing night. I am in love with the writing that has been brought to this stage, and we are only 2 poets in. So on deck, we got Lily Ain't Misbehaving, but give maximum love to our next poet coming up in the slam. Give it up for Damani.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
1818, Mary Shelley writes Frankenstein and becomes the unofficial creator of science fiction. 1928, H.P. Lovecraft creates Cthulhu, a dark sea creature that roams the sea, and immediately after we find his poem titled On the Creation of Niggers. Black poet, sci-fi lover, nerd revisits the history of science fiction, and I'm trying to say the sci-fi genre took what already existed and made it fiction. 17th century existed before all of this. We didn't need monsters. All the things to fear were hiding around cotton fields. What was a plantation but a field of study anyway? Cthulhu, Frankenstein, Medusa, all just a misunderstanding of how we move. Black people now called dirty, dangerous, all signs of beasts. And what do we make of this myth? Sci-fi's plaything turned legal definition, gatekeeping asylum. Alien wasn't the first word invented that was met with quarantine. The genre, sci-fi, is the only place Black people get. So when you take the word alien out of its context, you re-alienate. You just abducted definition and left the shell of its former self. Abduction is abolition's final straw. Absolutely. Abolish every aborted pronunciation. You say alien, We hear another synonym for an unwarranted fire hose. We see plantation like deserts, scars on the back like a crop circle, every sci-fi director's wet dream. I asked Google to use immigrant in a sentence. They found it difficult to expel illegal immigrants. In the biological sense, immigrant means an animal or plant living or growing in a region to which it was migrated. This implies choice, a physical movement on one's own will. If a gun fires a bullet, that too is immigration. When we gasp, the air that leaves is also a part of migration. Blood tracked through a city is migrating too. None of this by choice. Black people must always be migrating if this is true. Taken from one continent to another, ran from the plantation, ran through tunnels, ran from the South, ran to New Orleans, Atlanta, Florida, Cali, whatever Mecca was left for safe haven. Blacks have always been immigrants 4 times over. How else do we describe fleeing slavery and finding home in the Fillmore during World War II internment, or to find salvation in someone else's violence? What's the word for being priced out of someone's leftovers? They taxed us out of a promise and gave us a plot of land called a prison, said move here rent free. Even in fiction, we gotta be martyrs for something greater to happen. We've already seen slaves selling their likeness to buy freedom. Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben, so what of this? Identity theft in the extraterrestrial sense. Let's just take who you are and make you someone else. 3/5 a man, now Frankenstein, half human, half scientist plaything. I mean, literally, ICE exists because America hates brown people. Prisons because they hate black people. The police force stop and frisk, then poof. It doesn't exist when we talk about it, like Croyanism and experience. Have I made myself clear? Science fiction, new definition. I promise you'll find somewhere safe soon.
Keep that round of applause going for Damani. All right, judges, if you have not already, send your scores to Young Prophet. And for reference, Summertime got a 25.2. Fuck the scores. It is about the poet and the poetry and spitting your truth in a Zoom room full of strangers, which is goddamn brave if you ask me. But we're gonna move on deck. We got Nicole Tracy.
Wait, Reggie. Can you give a second? We're just restarting the Instagram stream, so
lit.
I'll make like an announcement while I do that. That'd be great.
Lit. Yeah, I can totally make an announcement. Yeah. So we are the Berkeley Poetry Slam. We do not just happen online. That wasn't our normally. Before COVID, BC or whatever, we were at the Starry Plow restaurant and pub in Berkeley. Shout out to the Starry Plow. They were shut down because of COVID-19. There's a lot of venues and restaurants and bars were. They are still recovering. They have a GoFundMe that we will be posting in the comment section. If you have ever, and I do mean ever, fucked with anything that a Berkeley Slam has ever done, any of the other events that regularly happen at the Starry Plow, please, please, please donate. The more money you donate to the Starry Plow, the easier it will be for us to return and continue providing these weekly slams for you in person. So you should donate. You can also get e-gift cards and support them, and also, cash out on it later. But definitely donate. That is the most effective way to support the Plow. And tell your friends to donate. But yeah, I want to give a special shout out and send all of my love to Shaheen and Laura and Jenna and every single person who works at the Starry Plow. Y'all are amazing. I miss the fuck out of y'all. And I know that we will see y'all soon. Lit. Arvind, are we on Instagram? Or are they tripping?
We're back online.
Hey, gang. We're back online. So we're gonna move on with the show. Like I was saying earlier, on deck we have Nicole Tracy, but give maximum love to our fourth poet coming up on the slam. Give it up for Lily Ain't Misbehaving.
Woo! Thank you. Can you hear me? Mic check.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay. So this piece is titled What White Privilege in Distress Sounds Like. Hi, I'd like to report a crime. There's an African American threatening my life. Oh my God. I'm afraid. I'm petrified. I think he's trying to kill me. Please send the cops immediately. Weapon? Of course he has a weapon. His melanin, he's so dark. He's just so black and big. Did he just whistle at me? He's talking to me. Stop talking to me. I fear for my life. Please hurry. What do you mean? He's selling CDs. I mean, he forged a check. I think he's his couch, or is he sleeping in his car in the drive-through? He's jogging. I don't know. He looks suspicious. I'm sure he has a criminal record. Hell, they all do. Our neighborhood was safe before those people came here. Go back to where you came from. You don't belong here. What's my name? It's Becky. My name is Becky. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. It's Karen. My name is George Zimmer. Why should that, his life, her life, their life shouldn't? Just know that my last name is Privilege. They're always causing problems, damn colored people. After all, I do have the protect complexion, so I need you to protect me. Come quick, exterminate, execute, neutralize this threat. Those people are fast runners, they might get away. He's pulling something out of his pocket. I think it's a gun. Is he trying to shoot me? Over there, officer, that thug wearing the hoodie. The taser's not going to work. Get your gun. Take the knee to his neck. They're always on their knees protesting, showing disrespect towards our country, our flag, our military. Our lives matter too. Officer, he's fighting back. You have the right to defend yourself against those hoodlums. He's breathing. Make it stop. Yes, Officer Mesley and Officer Chavin. My dog and I are safe, thanks to you. Before you know it, America will be great again, just like it was in the good old days.
Give it up for Lily Ain't Misbehaving. Yes. We halfway through the show. If you don't know what to do or who to send them scores to, all I can say is Keke Palmer, I'm sorry to that judge. But yeah, it looks like Damani got a got a 29.2. Yeah, but again, fuck the scores. It's always about the poetry, it's always about the message, it's always about the artistry. The scores are just here to get a whole bunch of motherfuckers in a room to listen to y'all spit your truth. Lit. So on deck, we have Anna Allen, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up in the slam. Give it up for Nicole Tracy.
Woo, 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 woo. Mic check.
We can hear you.
Meet Derek, my ex-boyfriend, ex-guy who I had a fling with. Derek, who says he's a former player, but only with a girl to call a trophy on his arm. If you ever introduced yourself to me, I get lost in your smile and stumble over my words. Your name is Derek, because you know just how to smile, hide your danger behind your teeth, and get exactly what you want. I humor Derek and have a conversation because he smells of IPAs, and I am too drunk to forget that I hate IPAs. So Derek brags about his job, or how close he is to his family, or something mild to impress me. Derek buys 2 more IPAs, and I pass mine back to the bartender when Derek is distracted, because Derek never bothered to ask what I drank, and I will never be too drunk to forget that I hate IPAs. Derek talks over me and complains about cronyism, and then stops to say how he has a thing for the quiet girl. When he stops talking long enough to take a drink, he asks what I do, expecting it to fill the time it takes him to swallow. But he spits as soon as he finds out I am a strong woman, and the game changes. I've become his conquest now, not his arm candy. I smile, and he thinks it is for him. But it is because I know this game well, and I know I will not be his Friday night conquest. But Derek doesn't realize he is not the first one to try and rename me after himself. So I know all his games, but play along anyways. My tongue will not surrender to his, and he stops to tell me he loves strong women. Derek will try and become any guy the same way he tries to mold me into any woman. She is quiet, so he likes quiet girls. She is loud and unapologetic, so he says he likes confident women. She wears resting bitch face as her favorite accessory, and he says he likes his women tough. I am all of hers, and Derek is none of these. Derek just wishes to find a girl to bring home. The $16 Uber ride for her makes it well worth his time. But I have met too many Dereks. I know all the rules to his little games, even the ones he doesn't tell me. I know just how this will play out if I play along. And I am too strong and confident of a woman to let myself follow another Derek home, just for mediocre dick and a forgotten name. I can get off all on my own, and it is my name I scream, not his.
Give it up for Nicole Tracy.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let me look back at that score because, you know, I know Prophet sent it to me, but I done already forgot it. And Lily got a 27.0. I'm gonna say this all night for all the scores, but fuck them. Fuck the scores. Fuck the numbers. It's all about you and your poetry and your artistry, and sharing that and the way that you shared that. So thank you. Liz, make sure you send those scores over to Prophet for Nicole Tracy if you haven't already. On deck, we have a round numero dos. I'm multilingual up in this mug. But give maximum love to the last poet of the first round. Give it up for Anna Allen.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
This one's called Naming the Stars. I read once that the harder you try to remember a dream, the further away from you it runs. Is it the same for nightmares? In my dreams, she is kept holy. There is no cursing my name. There is no hand slithered around my neck. There is no black eye under layers of concealer, no thinly concealed threats in my ear. There is only her. And those eyes like fluorescent bulbs. There is only magnetic hands and rib cages. There is only naming the stars after our future children. That one night on her rooftop, flat on our backs, limbs knotted, wearing nothing but the finest gilded cape. And when I dream that up and I pick up that telephone to call, I nightmare the time she smashed my head against the wall so hard I saw the stars we'd named Amelia, Michael, and Abigail. Queer women get left out of the domestic violence conversation so often. I thought my bruises were of my own creation, that I'd painted on the midnight blacks and blues as blue as her eyes while she slept silent beside me, not at all the tick, tick, tick bomb you knew she was. We existed in circles, passing through I love you, screamed so many times, I'd wonder if she'd run out of breath, the way I did, with her hands wrapped around my neck, so many gentle caresses, it seemed impossible her hands would ever turn claw again. And then she says, I was flirting with the girl at the grocery store, or I wore a bitchy tone that looked awful on me, or my smile when she walked in the front door wasn't traffic light bright enough, and the wheel would spin again, and the cycle would begin, and I'd end up on the hardwood floor again. Is it true what they say about dreams? And what of this nightmare? I wouldn't mind this exorcism. I wouldn't mind the forgetting. I wouldn't mind the loosening. My fear has boiled over, sizzling when refugees hit the stovetop, smelling of charred milk and her. Every day there is a little less. Every day I am a little more. Thank you.
Give it up for Anna Allen. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so Nicole got a 24.8.
Wow.
But yeah, fuck the scores. Scores are whack. Scoring art and poetry and feelings is whack. But it did get everybody in here to share art and poetry and feelings and to listen to people share art and poetry and feelings. So, you know, it's useful for at least something. Yeah, but while our scorekeeper is getting those scores from you for Anna Allen, I'm going to stall by telling you about some of the other things that ways you can get involved with the Berkeley Poetry Slam. I don't know about you, but the writing tonight has been lit as fuck. That's why they call it literature. LOL, please cancel me. But like seriously, like writing, it is amazing. And one way you can get in on the amazingness of writing is by joining our weekly writing workshops.
How much do they cost?
They are free 99 plus tax. The tax is your voice and your presence and your time and your energy, in your participation in the workshops. Which means
free?
Yeah,
how do you keep them free?
How do we keep them free? We keep them free through Patreon. Our patrons, on Patreon, we have a tier where you can sponsor the workshop. Shout out to Renee Edmonds and Jessica Kozakic for sponsoring our workshops. We have a workshop we have workshops every week, as well as workshops for both the Alchemy Open Mic and the Oakland Poetry Slam, which brings our total number of writing workshops to 7 a month. So you got 7 chances to get your pen game strong every month. If you don't take those chances, those free chances to write with both local poets and organizers, as well as national and internationally ranked poets and writers who facilitate workshops on a once-a-week basis, you are tripping. So I would want to see each and every one of you in a writing workshop near you. You can check out our Instagram, our Facebook, and our Twitter for more information on how you can get involved in workshops. Lit. We have Anna with a 27.0, which means I think, oh my goodness. I think that means
there's a 3-way tie right now. There's a 3-way tie.
Fucking 3-way tie. You already know what I was pissed about. Judges, I know I told you to stay consistent, but like, damn. Please.
3-way tie for one, please.
Yeah, I don't even know what the tie is for.
Eye-lips all over again.
It's a 3-way tie. Please don't turn this into eye-lips and like have 3 people winning, because I hate ties. This too much. Tie too much. I don't even know how to spell tie. I can't even tie a tie. And it's a 3-way tie for second place. Wow. So that means everybody, all 6 people make it into the second round, and it will be in reverse order of appearance. So we are going to have Anna Allen, then we're going to have Nicole Tracy, then we're gonna have Lily Ain't Misbehaving, then we're gonna have Damani, then we're gonna have Summertime, and finishing off the night, we got Torian. Lit. So that is us. That's what we got. That's what we doing. Without further ado, on deck, we have Nicole Tracy, but give it up one more time, returning to the stage. Give it up for Anna Allen.
Woo! You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good. Schizo. Hi, my name is Anna Allen. I'm 30 years old. I really like Frosted Flakes, and I have schizoaffective disorder. It's nice to meet you all. When I mention to people that I'm schizo, the air in the room falls, belly flops. We all can't breathe. But I am not murderous. I don't want to hurt anyone, just myself, most days. You see, being schizoaffective is being bipolar and schizophrenic all at the same time. You're double fucked. Double winner, double feature. I am the one tragedy pulsing next to another. A major part of being schizoaffective is the hallucination. Did you hear that? This multi-layered scream, the soundtrack for everything. There is a fan in my office and I've almost hanged myself 236 times because that non-bodied voice tells me this is a burden, but you can fix it. Everything that is broken, blah, 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 you are fat, you are stupid, you are worthless. Those words have sent me to the hospital every time, the whole time. Do you hear that? I hear that prayer coupled with that miraculous, heavy, grief-stricken petals of a sunflower drinking gasps, setting themselves on fire will destroy me. I don't know what's real anymore. Are you one of those monsters? Can I touch you gently on your palm and have you not shrink back? Throw it in reverse. Did you hear that? Desperately hungry, they don't eat, of course. They get full every time I scream at the wall in a grocery store, into my pillow, covering my head, but as oft repeated, everything can be fixed. Even a body so torn apart like a puzzle riddled with bullet holes. So bring it on, electroshock therapy. Every time I go, my slight recovering is electrifying. So bring it on, medication. Lithium, lamictal, risperidone, trazodone, abilify, benzotropine, clonazepam, sumatriptan, Zoloft, Clonopix, Cyprexa, Seroquel, Haldol, Perfenazine. Schizo asks, why are we still here, little girl? Throwing dull darts, blindfolded, instructions vague as this diagnosis. But you know what? I'm a fucking superhero. I am a schizo hero. I shared the deepest part of me to make both of us full. Yes, I am tortured, but I still kiss babies on their chubby little cheeks. Compliment my cousin's last Instagram photo. And the voices muffle and they seem less honest. And I have to go. They're calling me again. Thank you.
Give it up for Anna Allen.
Woo!
Okay, lit. Cool. Judges, send your scores over to Prophet. Please send them as quickly as possible so you can get them scores to me and I can announce them as quickly as possible. Yeah, that's first part of the second round. So we gonna move it on deck. We got Lily Ain't Misbehaving, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up in the second round. Give it up for Nicole Tracy.
Woo-woo. Before me, there was my mother. I imagine my mother lacing up her track shoes, catches the eye of my father. He is a slacker, but proactive when it comes to girls. He introduces himself, but admits the fact that he is cutting class, and a track meet is the only place he can go without getting in trouble. I'm sure my mother ignored him. She, just like I would be years later, require focus before a big meet. I wonder if she even remembered his name or glanced out at the bleachers before her event. But afterwards, he tries again, omits more details like his age, his last name, or where he lives. I'm sure he still loved his Mustang more than her, picked her up in it just to impress her for their first date. I'm sure afterwards my mother lied about who she was with. Overbearing parents and lying kids is a repeating pattern after all. Before my father, she has plans. Graduate high school and be a Sun Devil, have a career in journalism. The acceptance packet, not the rejection letter. Finally, a date to escape home just like I would years later. 18 comes before graduation, her, just like I would do, pack up and move in with someone else, but go about life as if nothing has changed. And for a while, I'm sure my mother enjoyed it. The freedom, the boy she was crazy about, him taking care of the bills, until it all changes. One morning, finding out that young, exciting, and no need to plan changes. Suddenly, there is a plus sign before it becomes a person. There is an ultrasound before a panic. My mother rationalizes by telling the ultrasound tech she has always wanted to be a mother. But I wonder if he ever wanted to be a father. But she gets to celebrate one final high school fun, prom. Take mandatory photos with my father and pretend it is just the two of them. I wonder if she realized that this was the only photo her daughter would have of the three of them. I wonder if we both wish there were more photos of the three of us.
Give it up for Nicole Tracy. Gunshot, gunshot, gang, 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 gang. And Anna Allen got a 27.9. Fuck the scores. Give it up and appreciate the poetry that is coming up on this mic tonight. You gon' respect the poet and not the points in my house. Lit judges, make sure you send those scores over to Prophet. And on deck, we've got Damani, but give maximum love to the next person coming up in the second round. Give it up for Lily Ain't Misbehaving.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. This piece is titled, Who Am I? I am woman, woven from the thread of my African ancestors. I am God's daughter, mama's baby, daddy's definitely, a Wiley through and through. I am Lady, who has sung more blues than Imelda Marcos sewn shoes. I am depression's poster child, who smiled at death as I teased her. I covered myself in laughter so that I wouldn't drown myself from crying. Revived my heart each time that it died, submerged inside of tainted blood. Faint heartbeats, felt the defeat from the LOLs I've heard after each so-called compliment. Backhanded comments produced laughter, even though jokes were never told from my mouth. I am the ugly duckling who waited for the kiss from my prince so I can transform into your version of beauty. I am the beast who bludgeoned the djembe drums, set out mating signals on the search to be loved by the one. I am dysfunctional, dizzy from the emotional roller coasters that I've rode on. Happy, sad, mad, glad, but mostly sad. I am the mourner of Eric, of my early departed Tatiana. Damn it, I wish I still had my mama. I am only human, born to make mistakes. Some mistakes I pray that I could erase, just scrape them away like scabs. I am the glass who at last is half full after years of them breaking from all the bull shit that I've been through. Secrets I'll probably never tell you. Never knew that I could pull through. Lord, I never would have made it without you. I am love, minus the ring and the vows. I and mother who is proud of the mixed brothers that allows me to smother them with unconditional love. I am the fierce she-wolf who will puncture my claws through the heart of anyone who attempts to bring harm to my cubs. I am best friend with my pen. She shifts shapes and bends to blend in with the madness that goes on in my brain. She talks about my pain and helps me maintain some sort of peace. I am the soul who was lost, but now has found herself along with her self-esteem. I am the Declaration of Independence because I've never been dependent on another. I ran past lovers to be a better fighter, and that's what made me a survivor. Because no matter what, I never gave up. Who am I? I am me. Thank you.
Give it up for Lily ain't misbehaving. Gang, 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 gunshot, 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 blah, 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 blah. All right. Lit. So it looks like Nicole Tracy got a 26.5. Fuck the scores. It is about the poetry and the honesty and all of that. Show your support to the poet and not the points. That is why we are here, for the poets and the poetry, not these damn points. Lit. Judges, make sure you send those scores to Prophet. You know what to do. You know what it is. Do the thing. But on deck, we got Summertime. But give maximum love to the next poet coming up in the slam. Give it up for Damani.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
In 2016, after commenting on the inability of a parent to call themselves a parent under the conditions of captivity, Saidiya Hartman called the Black woman's womb a slave ship. That same year, No Name said, "I'm trying to reimagine abracadabra for poverty." And I can't but think about how multi-talented we are. Product, producer, transportation vessel, and magic. If you stare hard enough, might just turn the spaghetti pots into a spaceship strong enough to take us where we need to go. Turn graffiti portal to Atlantis. Shoes tied around the telephone lines, the energy needed to take us there. I'm thinking about a street as long as America's history, Black and named after some dead thing. There's the city brochure, and then there's the city. There's a condo by the lake, and then there's something you can actually afford. I'm wondering what a city free of violence looks like. I'm thinking about maroonage, slaves building whole communities in the dirtiest of conditions. Our swamps ancestral ghettos. Did we inherit the ability to feed a family off shit scraps and leftovers? There isn't a night in Oakland that isn't both ominous and alive. Like I could die at any moment and still somehow come back tomorrow. I have a theory that pour one out for the dead homie is just a hood nigga's alchemy. A way of saying I fermented blood, sweat, and memory, and now I'm growing you back. For Oscar Grant, for Nia Wilson, I pray your trip be smooth since your BART ride wasn't. The train isn't safe. The buses don't run on time. Uber and Lyft have backdoor agreements with dynamite and wealthy businessmen hungry for land. On the question of Black death, I've seen niggas ooze onto the concrete. I've seen niggas pour one out for the dead homies on the question of Black magic. I've seen niggas pour bodies back into bodies. I've seen a Black girl make it home. I'm tired all the time, but still find the energy to hop the turnstile. Mass transit was supposed to be a cheap way to work. This ain't gonna work. This going to work thing, if I go broke going to work. Someone said they've taken more from us than we could ever loot. I ride by Fruitvale and think this place has more culture in its pinky than white supremacy has in its bank account. I ride down Telegraph East 14th and want hyphy back. Muscle cars and scrapers doing donuts. Magicians the way we make smoke and summon circles like they trying to transmute 06 hyphy back. E40 taught me this. Movement's always been part of the movement. Every tragedy, we found a way through it. Trayvon Martin dies and we find a new way to keep our hands up. Mike Brown dies and we learn the whip. 2000s, 19th century, 18th century, despite the time we make sense of a lost life through memory. You miss your friend, then make them a dance at every party. You miss your country, smuggle in a song. This is not a coincidence. We built a world of sadness, made grief a core and dance all night. What makes you think we won't invent a new one, a way out of all of this mess?
Give it up.
Damn.
Money. Gang, 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 gang. Pew, pew, pew. Bra, 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 bra. All right, and it looks like Lily ain't misbehaving. Got a ooh, child. Cannot see where the damn. I need my glasses. Ooh, chilly. They got. Please stop. It looks like Lily ain't misbehaving. Got a 26.7. I'm gonna say this all night. I'm gonna say this after every poet. Fuck the scores, fuck the points, fuck the numbers. It is all about the art. It is all about the bravery. It is all about the truth that is being spit on this stage tonight. Remember that. And also remember to send your scores for Damani in. Okay, on deck we have our last poet of the night, Torian, but give maximum love to our penultimate poet. Give it up for Summertime.
Thank you, thank you. Mic check.
We can hear you.
Excellent. So we've had a lot of heavy shit. I'm gonna go into some sensual erotic poetry. If I like you, you'll know it. Hair tucked behind ears, shameless grin. My teeth will compete with your melanin for the darkest mark and greatest real estate. I will fight to stop your blood flow with my embrace, match your heartbeat to mine. My eyes will narrow as I drift into a dreamy state. Louder, longer. I want leather on your throat and your hips shoved betwixt my own. I want to rock you so hard that you scream my name. You think you'll ride my curves? Think again, because I've got the keys, the wheels, and a thirst you can't quench in one ride. I know every muscle of the human body. I understand the inner workings of the human psyche, and I am a master of creative improvisation. My mouth can work wonders beyond poetic and prosaic articulants. My hands heal by craft, but can bruise, rake, and hook flesh greater than any talons. I am a sensual being, and I will not be shamed for it. I will shout at the top of my lungs a sexual crescendo as I reach that zenith, no longer a timid girl, but a fierce, fiery, and unstoppable wave of womanhood. Thank you.
Hey, gang, 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 give it up for Summertime. Bra, 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 bra. Lit, and it looks like Damani. Ooh, chilly. Let me find that. See what you got me saying? It looks like Damani got a 29.8. Fuck the fuck the scores, fuck the points, fuck the judging. I mean, not fuck the judges. The judges are amazing. They're the only reason we're able to like give out money at the end of this thing. But it's not about the points. It is about the poetry. It is about the artistry, the talent, the bravery. I will say that until the day that I die, which is probably going to be sometime before the end of 2020, the way the shit is looking. You know, heat death of the universe. Hey, but on deck, we do not have mutually assured destruction. We have figuring out who wins this prize money, but give maximum love to our last poet of the night. Give it up for Torian.
All right, mic check. Y'all can hear me?
We can hear you.
All right. So my homies always ask me why I don't never write erotic poems. I tell them because every time I start, they get a little bit twisted. Like the cop's gun wants black lives. Cop gun says, yeah, black lives. You know I like to strip you down of your clothes, of your pride, of your lives. I got this loaded thing I want to stick inside you. Just let me put the tip in. I promise you, I don't fire no blank shots. You know, gunshots are cum shots. They just bust different. Yeah, put them hands up against the headboard. Let me show you the only difference between a headboard and a tombstone is the sound it makes when bodies are involved. You know, I like to 6911. Shit, you know I don't care how I hit it. Black lives from the front, from the back, sideways. It don't matter. You be leaving out of this in breath. Don't you like handcuffs during foreplay? I can hide the cameras and the badge. I know you like an undercover freak. I mean, I know you like being choked during sex. I choked you until you couldn't breathe. You know I can go for rounds. It don't take much to get me off. To get me off, all you gotta be is black and me white. Watch me get off before I pull out. Watch me get off before I pull off. Watch me get off before you get out. Watch me get out before you get yours. Watch me get off. I'm a serious minute man. I know a lot of positions to put the body in. Let's try the hashtag. I get off at the cross lines. Nah, wait. Let's try the cemetery. The first time always hearse. Oh, wait. Let's try the autopsy. They call it getting in those guts. Nah, even better. Let's try the casket. Let's shove it so deep inside the graveyard that the dirt catches an orgasm before the shovel pulls out. But wait, I want to leave those sheets messy. Bust a chalk outline all over them. You know, I turn the body into a glory hole. I'm amazing at a hand job. You ever seen how I finger a trigger? How I finger a police report? How I finger paid administrative leave? I want to leave this bedroom messy. Bust tombstones all over your graveyard, and after I'm finished, I promise you'll leave out your body. You'll sleep real good tonight. They call it awake, but nothing about you will be awake. No matter how woke you are, I will show you a rest. I'll show you how I make love. And I'd love to do this again. Penetration, penitentiary. You know they both have penetrate in it.
Okay, give it up for Torian. Bra, bra, bra. Gang, 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 gang. Pum, 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 pum. Wow. So that was the last poet. Summer got a 23.6. Fuck. The scores. You can see the middle fingers when I'm saying fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet, give it up for the bravery, and give it up for every single person who touched the stage tonight, because whew, somebody owe me some goddamn edges. I don't know which one of you does, but you know, somebody needs to get on it. Lit. And Torian got a 29.2. So while we're waiting to see who won, let me tell you about the other shows that Rich Oak Events is in charge of. We have our next show is this Saturday via Instagram Live. We will be doing the Alchemy open mic. You can go to Rich Oak Alchemy on Instagram for more information. That's going to be a really great show. We're going to do something we haven't done in a while at the Alchemy open mic. We're having a feature. Our feature is D Soul. I'm super excited, like a wonderful poet. Yes, somebody in the comment section is like, D Soul, yeah, D Soul all shook, like we wasn't gonna book a dope ass poet. But yeah, D Soul is going to be featuring. You should definitely come out. We will be posting our sign up list on our Instagram page at 5 p.m. On Saturday, so definitely pop by. We also run the Oakland Poetry Slam every third Tuesday via our Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. We just had our show yesterday. Ebony featured. It was amazing. Definitely check us out next month. I don't have the date right on me because I am not in the business of memorizing the dates. But check us out next month. We're going to have another amazing feature. We're going to have another amazing lineup of poets, and you should sign up yourself. And then, of course, there is yours truly, the Berkeley Poetry Slam, right here on whatever platform you are watching on currently. We are here every Wednesday, right here, bringing some of the freshest poetry in the Bay right to your living room or bedroom or studio apartment that you share with 5 people because you live in a shithole city with shithole rent control. But I'm not bitter. And we're not here to hear me rant about like the politics of gentrification. We are here to figure out who won this slam tonight. Let me tell you, I was kind of afraid coming into this because I really thought that there was going to be a tie, and there's not a tie. So thank you, judges, for being consistent yet differentiating your scores. Love you. But I need a drum roll. In third place with a 54.9. Give it up for Anna Allen. Gang, 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 gang.
Yeah, I really enjoy that, Anna. You're a great storyteller.
Thank you very much. That's sweet.
You're welcome.
Anything to say to the public, Anna?
Thank you very, very, very much. This was like one of the best shows that I've ever seen, and I loved everything that I saw. These were like really hard and personal to do, and I usually don't get through these without crying hysterically. So it's been a good show.
Hey, hooray for crying, but also hooray for not crying when you don't want to cry.
That's right.
Hooray.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we hope to see you at another show because, I mean, I'll speak for myself. I miss your face at the Berkeley.
I miss yours.
Oh, I miss everyone's face. God damn. Fuck this COVID shit. Everybody stay the fuck at home so I can see my friends. Stay the fuck at home so I can see my friends. And stay the fuck at home so, you know, my friends don't get sick. And so I don't get sick, and so that you don't get sick, and that the people that you love don't get sick. You know, act like a fucking human being and care about people. And thank you so much, Anna, for your words, and we hope to see you again.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a good night.
You as well. Okay. I need another drum roll. I can't hear like any of these drum rolls, so I'm just like, this is headcanon for me. In second place with a 56.2, I need y'all to give it up for Torian.
Woo! Y'all stay making this fun. Like, stay making this fun. I love this shit.
Hey.
That wordplay, Torian. It's crazy. So good.
That's just one of my favorite techniques, man. Like every time I'm writing, if I don't have like at least like 5 or 6 words in my head that I can like play on, the poem is gonna be a rough draft until further notice. So I just like doing stuff like that. So, but y'all make it fun. I mean, I learn every time I get into a slam or every time I get to an open mic. So I learned a lot tonight. Just from all the stories and stuff, and I just appreciate being here. Like, I love this shit. So
thank you. Thank you for bringing your energy. You know, we always love it when Southern poets come up north and and grace us with their presence. Thank you so much. It was an honor to hear your words and know that you are always invited back to the Berkeley Slam and to Rich Oak events. Lit.
Oh, definitely. I love doing this for y'all. I love being in this space. So it's the honor is mine for sure.
Thank you. And we'll see you again soon.
I'll see y'all soon.
Lit. All right. I need the biggest drum roll you ever made in your life. I could hear it from somebody. So like, thank you to whoever made the audible drum roll. Cause like, I feel like I'm talking to myself.
You're welcome.
Hey. In first place with a, let me check, a 59.0. Give it up for Damani.
Yes, Damani.
Yeah.
That writing is crazy, my guy.
Is that a
Yo.
top I see?
Tino. Oh my God. Yo, yeah, thank you for listening. I think that's like the most important thing I want to say, because listening is hard. And there's a lot of things going on. Yeah, so thank you to the organizers, the judges, and I'm really glad I got to like slam with new people like Torian and Lily, because I've like been in space with like Nicole and Summertime and Anna. So yeah, thank you.
I really love the historical lens in your poetry. It was really beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Damani. Thank you, Torian. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Lily and Summertime and Nicole and every single person who touched this stage tonight. Shout out to Ebony Stewart, our amazing feature. Yeah, we are going to be here next week. Who's our feature next week?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Oh, let me look at the schedule because I have that pulled up. Or do I? Lit.
Well, this Saturday, the Soul.
Oh, lit. Saturday at the Alchemy Open Mic, we have D Soul. Next week,
The other WOWPS champ.
we have
Another
the other
WOWPS chance.
champ. We have Frequency coming through and featuring look, I'm looking at the next like month and a half of features, and when I tell you that it's gonna be on and popping and you don't want to miss it, it's gonna be on and popping and you don't want to miss it. So you're gonna like and share and subscribe and follow us so you can stay in touch. I am going to make another drink so I can stay in touch with myself. And we are going to end this live stream. It has been an amazing night full of amazing poetry. I'm not going to tell you to get the fuck up off the internet, but this live is going to get the fuck up off this internet. So we will see y'all on Saturday or next week or whenever you decide to turn us on your screen and enjoy the beautiful poetry that our community and the world has to offer. Thank you so much for sitting and for joining us on this journey. We will see y'all soon. Remember to wear a mask, stay home as much as possible, and tell somebody that you care about that you love them. I will see y'all later.